Well, the guy named Candy Franklin, that's right, Candy Franklin, sounds like a John Hughes character, went to a Waffle House in downtown Atlanta on Wednesday, so you know it's going to be a good story. It's not clear if he had been drinking or not, but it was 1 a.m, so that's in the Waffle House danger zone. He ordered eggs with cheese. Now, they forgot the cheese on the eggs. We've all been a little miffed over that. So he complained, was pretty upset about this, and he was going to say something to the waitress. But as he was looking for the waitress, he noticed people were running out of the restaurant. Why is that? Because the waitress had a gun. The waitress was not... The Waffle House. Can you believe somebody who works at the Waffle House would be
Was this
that
at a
sketchy?
Waffle House in like the Wyoming territory in the late 1800s? Like why does the waitress have like a 6-shooter on her hip?
Well, dude, it's downtown Atlanta at 1 a.m. Don't you think that bro, I don't care if I'm working at a church, I'm having a goddamn shotgun with me in Atlanta downtown. Her name is Angelic Patterson, and she says she pointed the gun directly at him and threatened to shoot. That's what she says. He decided to call her bluff. He told her there was no way she'd shoot him over some eggs, but then she cocked the gun, and he realized that she might actually do it. So he took off. Well, in the end, she didn't fire any shots and no one got hurt, but you're not going to believe this. She's facing charges over aggravated assault. Here's the thing. Jeremy, you have worked so many jobs that you hate. You've worked jobs, I'm sure, where you have fantasized leaping over a counter and strangling someone to death, right? You know, oh, my coupon didn't work. Oh, really? Well, my gun does, bitch, right? We've all been there. I think that's the danger, though. So I really don't see a problem, and maybe the Waffle House corporate does. I don't see a problem with having a goddamn gun if you work in downtown Atlanta and 1 a.m. But that's the thing. Honest to God, to my knowledge, you've never pulled a gun in your life on someone, but it's only because I don't think you own any right now because you have severe fucking rage problems.
The only reason.
Honestly, 100%. Let's say, when you were working in that hotel back in the day, and you talked about that many times, all of the scams that you ran out of that hotel, statute of limitations is passed for the purposes of this story.
Sure.
But let's say that you had a goddamn, I don't know why, in my mind, it's like a General Patton pearl-handled revolver. That's what you got under the fucking desk.
It says Peacemaker on it.
Can't you tell me how many fucking times? At least at once you would have pulled that gun on somebody, who complaining over room service or something.
Oh yeah, dude, at least once a day for sure.
Exactly.
Oh, you just mean once in general? No, yeah. It's part of the reason I don't own one is because I do have uncontrollable anger, and there's a really good chance that I would already be on probably year 23 of my fucking life sentence at this point if I ever owned a gun. So right. It's just best.
I don't own one because I drink a lot and I'm sad all the time. So anyway, speaking of Waffle House and guns.
I don't own one because the doctor says I'm not allowed to own one.
Because the law told me I can't. Speaking of Waffle House and guns, you're not going to believe this. A 28-year-old man named Edward Rodriguez walked into a Waffle House in Florida on Monday evening with his dog and announced that he was there to rob the place. He shouted, quote, "Get on the ground. Y'all are getting robbed." Which, is pretty serious business. Now, he didn't appear to have a weapon, but he did raise his hands with his finger out in the shape of a gun.
Did he also yell bang bang?
Now, he wasn't doing the Happy Days thing where he had it in his pocket to at least, obscure it a little bit. No, he legitimately had a finger gun. He did also admit to the people there he was, quote, high and drunk. Well, who is? The robbery wasn't what witnesses were expecting. Edward just grabbed some napkins, walked out, got into his vehicle, and drove off. Someone called 911 and the authorities identified him. When they found him, he admitted that he had been at Waffle House, quote, to get some napkins. He also said he was going to rob the place, but it's unclear why he didn't follow through, or maybe he just wanted some napkins.
It's weird. There's been so much in the news about Amazon changing their in-warehouse and hiring practices and how they treat employees. And I think people forget the most hazardous job you can fucking have is third shift at a Waffle House.
No fucking
Can
doubt,
you imagine,
man.
like, every night when you punch in, it's like a fucking Herzog documentary. It's just insanity.
See, and these are just the worst stories, right? It's
Yeah.
not like every Waffle House gets robbed at 3 a.m, but I would almost think I would rather deal with a crazy homeless man trying to steal napkins with his finger gun than I would some drunk chick at 4 a.m who doesn't even know what the fuck she's ordering, right?
Yeah.
I think at that point I would hope a man would come in with a gun
I
and
say
blow
we
me
give
away.
Waffle House waitresses $15 an hour. I think, they deserve it.
I think they do, though. That's the thing, man, is that, obviously now because of the labor shortages or whatever, and people are realizing that companies don't give a fuck and they just want to kill you and, destroy your soul and all that stuff. We all know that, right? I've been to many Waffle Houses where it's understaffed, and I've seen a couple Waffle Houses recently that literally are closed. They say they're closed because they can't find staff. Now,
That's
think
just
about that.
un-American to close a Waffle
House. And that really means something because Waffle House is open 365 days a year. It's open on Christmas. And before you go, oh, that's awful. No, I've talked to them because I spend a lot of time in Waffle House. Those waitresses love working the Christmas shift because they get like holiday pay plus tips, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that that Waffle Houses are closing because they can't get people shows you how fucking awful that job must be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is about the eggs, but Waffle House has proven to me that crackheads make the best fucking eggs. I don't know what it is.
They do. And do you ever notice that the ugliest, smelliest, just worst looking fucking guy in the whole Waffle House, he's the short order cook? Always. Like he's got fucking acne, and he's got hair that's so greasy it hadn't been washed in weeks that you can see the grease dripping out of his fucking hair. He's got like a pair of duct taped glasses on, and he's missing his index and his ring finger on his right hand. And that motherfucker can cook the best smothered, covered, and capped hash browns you ever ate in your entire life.
I'm telling you, I think that you found the secret right there. Maybe it's all that hair grease that makes the best eggs.
It's got to be something.
We thought it was a salved up skillet. No, man, that's that fucking hair grease. I love that when they were feuding in WWE, Kevin Nash's insult for CM Punk was he said, "You look like a short order cook at the Pikeville Waffle House." Representing Kentucky.
It's like the worst thing you can call someone.
The last time I was at Waffle House, this is a true story. I'm eating, and they do a job interview in the booth right next to me, right? So they don't go into the office or what. No, they interview this chick, and this chick comes there high as fuck, right? I mean, you could tell she's whacked out of her gourd.
Right.
And she's ordering this big fucking all-star meal while she's being interviewed, okay? So she's gobbling up these goddamn chocolate chip pancakes while she's like, yeah, I can work on Christmas, gloom, gloom, gloom. And she leaves, and I witnessed this whole thing. She leaves, doesn't pay for her meal. And again, she's being interviewed for a job, doesn't pay for her meal.
She dined and dashes on an interview?
And then the waitress who interviewed her, the manager goes, well, maybe we can get her to work next Sunday. God.
I love a Waffle House, the idea of a Waffle House job interview. Like, what do? They check your pulse, and if they can feel something, you're hired?
I think they search for the Hatchet Man tattoo. They see how many Fagos you can put away in 6 minutes.
Oh, man. Dude, that's funny you should mention that because not every Waffle House employee looks like a juggalo, but every juggalo looks like a Waffle House employee.
Oh my God. That's it, man. That's the next piece of merch we're going to roll out right there. We're going to thread that on a pillow. That's what we're going to do.